up, you beautiful bastards? Hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday. Welcome back to the Philip DeFranco Show, and let's just jump into it. And the first thing we're going to talk about today is the craziness around 26-year-old Katie Quackenbush shooting a homeless man. There's a lot of controversy and outrage around this story coming out of Nashville, and it is very much a he said, she said story, but so far it does appear that the he said is the police and the she said is her and her daddy. So let's jump into what happened. Well, according to police, around 3 a.m. Monday morning, Gerald Melton, he's a 54-year-old homeless man, he was trying to sleep on a sidewalk near Music Row in Nashville. That was until he was disturbed by exhaust fumes and loud music, so he got up to check out the Porsche SUV that was the source of it. He reportedly asked the driver, 26-year-old Katie Quackenbush, to move her car. They then got into an argument. Melton began to walk back to his spot on the sidewalk, and that's when police said that Quackenbush got out of her car and shot him 2 times in the abdomen. She then got back in her car and drove away. Melton was then taken to the hospital with critical injuries, and on Monday night, Katie Quackenbush was charged with attempted murder. So that's the he said, and the she said comes from Jesse Quackenbush. Jesse is the shooter's father and prominent attorney in Amarillo. He's one of those criminal defense lawyers with the commercials on TV.
Even good people can get in trouble with the law. Have you been accused of a crime? Do you feel like your life is in the balance? You need an experienced, aggressive attorney who's not afraid to fight for your rights.
Well, according to him, Katie was dropping a friend off when she spotted Melton harassing other women. Melton then approached Katie's window yelling about her music and that he could not sleep. And after Melton walked away, Katie put a magazine in her gun and got out of the car to walk her friend inside. Melton then began to walk back towards her when she announced that she had a gun. She then fired 2 warning shots, and according to her father, she did say that she closed her eyes when she shot both times, but they were warnings, and she thought she pointed away from him. She had no intention of killing him. She didn't know that she hit him. He then says after Katie left on foot because Melton continued to approach, they went to a nearby restaurant with a plan to wait a bit and then go back. And according to Mr. Quackenbush, Katie never heard any indication that the man she fired warning shots at was hit, saying it wasn't until the 2 returned to the friend's home that they found crime scene tape and police. Katie then got an attorney and then turned herself in, and she maintains that she was acting in self-defense and should not be charged. So that's the story as of right now, and here's what I'll say on it. 1. Responsible gun owning 101. You do not even pull out or point a gun at something unless you are okay with possibly killing that thing. 2. Why would you fire a weapon with your eyes closed? And 3, even if your eyes are closed and you make the ill-advised decision to fire a warning shot, how do you not make sure that you are not shooting at people height? Twice. And this is just me talking about this horrible situation in an isolated bubble and not even taking into account your past assault charges. Just talking about a situation where you exited your vehicle, fired 2 warning shots into a person, then you reportedly went to hang out at a restaurant rather than reporting the incident where you discharged your weapon 2 times, and then luckily someone found the guy you shot lying in the street. But ultimately, that's just my opinion. What happens to this woman, I don't know. But I want to pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts around this craziness? Does the father's defense of his daughter seem reasonable, feasible, or no, is this just simply a violent attack against a homeless person? I'd love to know your thoughts on this. And then the biggest story we're going to talk about today, the most important story we're going to talk about today, is the Equifax breach. Now, if you're outside of the United States and Canada, this can be an interesting story, but if you are an adult person in the United States, this is incredibly important. This is potentially life-altering, damaging stuff. So please listen. If you also know other adults in the United States that aren't taking this seriously, please send them this video. So to start off, what is Equifax? A lot of people are saying, well, I don't even use Equifax. This could not affect me. Well, actually, yes, you most likely do. Equifax is one of the 3 major credit reporting agencies in the US, along with Experian and TransUnion. They keep track of your entire financial history, every bill you've paid, every credit card, every loan, every inquiry into credit, every bankruptcy in the past 7 years. I mean, in order to live in America today, you're almost required to use their services. And that's because their services are a byproduct for applying for every new loan, a new cell phone plan, etc. So what happened? Well, Equifax announced last week that on September 7th, 143 million US-based users had their entire financial history compromised. Additionally, there are reports that an unknown number of Canadian users have also been compromised. And what that means is that for 143 million people, the hackers have social security numbers, driver's license numbers, past addresses, some credit card info. So all of that sensitive information for 143 million people, and Equifax waited 6 weeks to announce the breach. A month and a half they waited, which is crazy, not just for transparency's sake, but for how damaging this hacked information is, how vulnerable it leaves 143 million people. I mean, we're talking about incredibly convincing identity theft on a level we have never seen before. With your information out there, someone can literally be you. They could successfully open a bank account for you. Most likely what we'll see are people getting credit cards in your name, then maxing out said credit card, ruining your credit, and they get some cash. Additionally, we're likely to see a lot of tax fraud, people getting tax returns in your name. They could get loans in your name. Maybe they'll try to buy a house. That's one of the more extreme, ridiculous ones. But if you've ever talked to someone that has been the victim of identity theft and something hefty, this is something that can ruin your life. It's stressful, it's time consuming, it limits your future options. I mean, this isn't like other hacks where credit card information information was out there, you could cancel a credit card. This is like if someone cloned you for the express purpose of that person opening up credit cards in your name that you will most likely not even know about until it has put you in massive debt and ruined your credit. So at this point, you might be thinking, well, that sucks for them. Well, the thing is, like I said earlier, if you're an adult in the United States, this most likely affects you. 143 million people is 44% of the population of the United States. And that's of the population with under 18s included. If you cut out the under 18s, you might be looking at a percentage of 57%. If you've ever held or inquired about a credit card, a loan, bank account, cell phone account, electric service, water service, housing, rent, internet service, security clearance, jobs, universities, you are most likely affected. And in fact, the sheer number of people affected by this might be the only positive for you right now. Because 143 million people were affected, there's almost too much information. It's essentially like you have a giant bag of candy, and obviously all the kids around the candy that want candy are gonna eat the candy. But they're only going to be able to eat so much because of time and capability. So essentially, you get to play the am I going to get fucked lotto. You're hoping no, but everyone's got a chance and there are going to be some winners. So the question becomes, if you fit the criteria of the people most likely affected, now that you have greater odds than a coin flip that you are part of the screwed group, what can you do? Well, first, before moving forward, I want to thank a Reddit user by the name of Velostodon. They made a fantastic and valuable explanation of the situation, what people can do. It saved us a lot of time, and I want to be the megaphone for that information. So first thing up, get a credit report right now. And I want you to treat this video as either a to-do list where you're pausing, doing the thing, and then hitting play again, or you know the steps and you do the steps after this video. So get a credit report. You are entitled to a free credit report every year. And also, when I say credit report, I don't mean use any of the services that have those stupid fucking jingles in the commercials. Also, side note, I realize that I'm cursing a lot more while I'm sleep deprived. Go to annualcreditreport.com. The site might go down because we're pushing a lot of traffic to it. Just know that as soon as possible, try to go to annualcreditreport.com. Get that report of your credit right now, store it away, you know where you are now, and it's very important from now for you to continue to monitor your credit. Additionally, give yourself some time to monitor your finances. There were credit card numbers stolen as well, so those might be used. Also, if you're very concerned, you can initiate a credit freeze. To do this, you're going to have to contact Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. In the description down below, I'm going to include the phone numbers for you to call. It's an automated system, so you don't have to worry about dealing with any humans, but you need to call all three. But two big things to note here. One, it does cost a marginal amount of money depending on the company and state, and that causes a lot of people angry just in general that they're having to pay anything, but also specifically that they would have to pay Equifax for this. And two, this is a serious move. You will not be able to do anything with your credit report during the freeze. And that's going to matter to you if you plan on moving, buying a car, getting a loan soon. If that's the case, you're in a very hard situation. You'll have to make a personal choice on your risk of being one of the people that are vulnerable and that are affected versus the headache of not having the ability to pull the trigger on all those things I previously mentioned. And also, so there's no confusion here, I know that some of the words overlap. You can have a credit freeze, but still use the credit cards you already have. If you're paying off a loan that was out in your name, you can still do that. This freezes anything new. Additionally, there's also another controversial option, that being you could enroll in Equifax's online registry to find out if your information was compromised. And in connection to this, Equifax is offering protection packages. This will require your last name and the last 6 digits of your social. Here, Equifax is providing a year of free credit monitoring and identity theft protection. But here's the thing, once the year ends, it's up to each individual to cancel that membership, otherwise they're going to be automatically charged. So essentially, launched off the back of their colossal fuck up, they're offering the victims here help, but it really, if you look at it, it is a 1-year trial membership that is then going to auto-renew, thus charging the victim for a service they have essentially been forced into, made more necessary by Equifax's original fuck up. And most likely people are going to need more than that year because it's barely enough protection. Experts are saying that issues stemming from this leak are likely to persist for years, even decades. Also, ooh, these Equifax motherfuckers. Reportedly, by agreeing to protection packages, you were consenting to arbitration, meaning that you waived your right to sue the company. But luckily, after a lot of criticism, Equifax has changed that requirement, albeit only slightly, instead saying you can send them a written letter within 30 days to opt out of arbitration. I mean, immediately by involving the Postal Service. The written letter, horse and buggy opt-out, rather than having a very simple online form. You can tell what they're trying to do. It very much appears that they're trying to limit the amount of people that are going to seek damages. And the reason for that is you have 143 million victims. If everyone sought money, this company would go bye-bye. And then finally, there's the question of what can you do against Equifax? Whether you want to make them pay for this ridiculous situation, or very understandably, this is going to cost money to deal with. Time, stress, actual charges you're having to pay. Well, 1, you could do nothing. 2, take them to small claims court. 3, personal formal lawsuit. Or 4, class action lawsuit. All have their different requirements and specifics other than do nothing, which is, well, nothing. You're just simply a victim who's not doing anything. Small claims court is relatively easy for anyone to pursue, but it is time intensive. You've got paperwork, court proceedings, you might have to get a sheriff involved. And depending on the state, you'll only be able to sue for a certain amount of money. Some, it's like $2,500, others $25,000. Then you have the personal formal suit. This requires a lawyer, so the cost is higher, but the potential payout is much larger. Experts also say that it's likely you'll be in court for over a year, but when you do win, if you win, the money will be a lot easier to get than with a small claims court. And then finally, finally, and the easiest by far, is the class action lawsuit. This, if you don't know, is just a lawsuit by a group of people, those affected. This one's already in the works. You just have to send your information to a lawyer. You do not have to pay them. And the reason for that is the lawyers will likely take around 40% of the winnings that they get and then divvy up the rest among those people that signed on for the class action. And so that's where we are as of right now. Hopefully you understand why this is such a big deal, and if you are understandably worried, what to do next. Also, some of the things I was talking about here, it's only top level. I'm going to link to a lot of resources in the description down below. This to help you with the ins and outs of your specific situation. And once again, please get the word out to people. There are so many people that kind of know that something happened, but most of the time when you hear a story like this, you go, oh, well, other people are affected. Let's try and limit the damage these Equifax bastards have opened everyone up to. Please understand that this company and the people at the head of it do not care about you. They offer you a solution and help for a problem they caused that then turns into them making money after a year. The breach reportedly happened mid-May. Equifax learned of it on July 29th. They end up informing the public 6 weeks later, but not before on August 1st, August 2nd, top-level executives at Equifax offloaded shares. Chief Financial Officer John Gamble Jr. selling 13% of his stock, U.S. Information Solution President Joseph Lugren selling 9%, and Workforce Solutions President Rodolfo Ploder selling 4%. And all of it together ended up being around $1.8 million. Just a couple of days after the company learned what happened, but weeks before they told the public. Although Equifax said that these executives had no knowledge that an intrusion had occurred at the time that they sold their shares. But as you'd expect, there's a lot of doubt that the CFO and other high-ranking employees were unaware of this major breach. Others also tried to explain that the sale of stock may have been an automated sale, a little scheduled trading plan. But when looked into, the trio had never scheduled a trading plan. So now those three are facing an investigation by the SEC. So just know that for this company and most companies, you as a person do not matter. It's all about dollars. And that's where I'm going to end today's show. Hopefully that's helpful, but I do of course want to pass the question off to you. What is your takeaway from this? What are you thinking right now? Are you angry? Are you worried? Do you believe those executives didn't really know what happened? Anything and everything, let me know in those comments down below. And remember, if you liked this video, you like what I try and do on this channel, hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Makes it that much easier to make sure you don't miss these shows, which actually, if you did miss yesterday's show, you want to catch up, click or tap right there to watch that. Or if you want to see today's brand new behind the scenes vlog, click or tap right there to watch that. But that said, of course, as always, my name's Philip DeFranco. You've just been filled in. I love yo faces, and I'll see you tomorrow.